More queerbait for Globehead shills. It is high-altitude weather balloons with reflectors. Big thumbs down.
Globehead? Why on earth would you call me that? What a strange thing to say. As for high-altitude weather balloons with reflectors, such experiments were done in the pre-satellite era, and they didn't work out very well. I should also point out that satellites are not simply reflectors of radio signals. They actually receive a signal and then remodulate it on a new carrier and retransmit it.
Your image of Earth is full of animal faces. See the terrier face off the coast of CA. And the clouds are replicated especially south of Mexico. Expand the image or find the image on nasa.gov. Look it up.
People often see faces and other shapes in clouds. It's called pareidolia, and it's not something that should be taken seriously. There's nothing wrong with using your imagination, so long as you realize that it is your imagination.
Can't stand to listen to any more of your horse.
Meep meep.
Cut the undersea cables and your satellites magically disappear. NASA is leftover Nazi occultists. NASA steals over $50 million daily.
Cutting undersea cables won't cause any satellites to disappear. It could cause your internet to disappear. And then how would you manage to spread these rumors about NASA?
Wonderful video. A lot of unanswerable questions for flatards.
Yeah, the trouble is that as simple as some of these concepts are, they're actually beyond most flatards.
LMFAO. Moon bounce? Lots of disinfo here. Yes, no proof the Earth is flat, but no mother
Meep meep.
ever landed on the moon. Low Earth orbit is all we have accomplished. Never a straight answer shows us nothing but cartoons. I assume the real shape of the Earth is something in between sphere and flat, like a caved-in skull, something like your slope head. LMFAO. Moon bounce?
A lot of people have done moon bounce. You can laugh at it all you want, but that doesn't change the reality. You can also deny the moon landings, but that doesn't change the fact that we went up there.
Science falsely so-called. Lots of words saying nothing.
Well, you didn't use very many words, and yet you still managed to say nothing.
The inverse square field law applies to all transverse electromagnetic radiation, regardless of frequency or antenna design. RF signals can't bounce off of something that has no physical properties, such as the ionosphere. Try bouncing light off nothing, and let me know how that works. It's called the C level, not C curve. You can't distinguish between a straight line and a curved line, smart guy. Go down to the hardware store and ask what aisle the curved levels are on. Your ignorance is astonishing.
We know that holograms can act as both lenses and mirrors, and yet they are made out of nothing but light. We know that the atmosphere can cause refraction of light, and yet it's nothing but literally thin air. So why is it you have a problem with an ionized layer of the atmosphere refracting radio signals? And besides that, the ionosphere does have physical properties, just as the atmosphere has physical properties and water has physical properties. It's called sea level because it's the level that the sea is at. And it is level relative to the Earth. This isn't really that difficult of a concept, yet it seems to be beyond you. As for ignorance, well, you're certainly not lacking in that department.
How is it that in 2018 there are people who still believe the Earth is flat? This has to be the work of trolls.
I would like to believe that it's nothing but trolls. Unfortunately, that doesn't appear to be the case.
Does anybody ever use dishes to transmit skywaves? I can imagine it would be harder to hit your intended target, but can it be done?
The trouble is that at the frequencies skywave communications are carried out on, such a dish would be monstrous. You'd also need massive gears and motors to move it both vertically and horizontally. I can't imagine anyone spending the millions of dollars it would take to build such a monstrosity, especially considering that HF communication is not nearly as important today as it once was.
I don't know much about ham radio waves, and they could be bouncing off the ionosphere for a minute. But if you look at air travel in the alleged southern hemisphere, the travel patterns make absolutely no sense on a globe, but make perfect sense on a flat, plain model Earth.
Well, at least you admit that there's one area where you don't know very much. That's a start. As for a bunch of cherry-picked multi-flight routes, I posted a video to YouTube myself called Planes Prove the Globe, and it does a pretty good job of clearing up this matter. If you try plotting direct flights that actually do exist, and then you compare the relative lengths of the lines on the map to the relative flight times, what you'll find is that the only map that actually works is a great circle map centered on the point of origin. It works for that point of origin, but doesn't work for any other. This is entirely consistent with the idea that the Earth is a globe, as there is no flat map that actually works for plotting airline flights. If the Earth actually was flat, such a map would actually exist, and everybody would be using it. That wraps up this installment in the Your Dumb Flat Earth Comments series. Based on the response I've gotten from the series so far, and on the comments still being left on the video, I expect there will be more parts in the future. So be sure to like and subscribe, and tell others about the Your Dumb Flat Earth Comments series. See you later.